$100 free jewelry case as our gift to you. Riddles Jewelry, for life's special moments since 1959.
Located inside Gateway Mall.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, welcome to the show. This is Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons on 93.7 The Ticket. Man, I'm honored that you guys are tuning in tonight. I got a really great show for you. Start my show off by giving a big shout out to Matt Warner and Empire Fencing in Waverly, Nebraska. Place that makes you feel welcome, doing excellent work. Just want to say keep doing big things, Empire Fencing. And Matt Warner, man, you're a leader. Proud of you. Keep doing your thing. You know, tonight's show is going to be very interesting because it's a topic tonight that we're going to cover that a lot of people don't want to look at until after the fact. And I know my show is called To Get You Happy On Hour, but sometimes you got to look at reality as well. And it's well documented that I've had trials and tribulations that are second to none. I've had my share of ups and downs, and I mean in the worst way. And basically the topic I want to bring up to you guys is addiction. No one really wants to talk about addiction because addiction is one of those topics that it usually doesn't have a positive outcome. I've been blessed for the last 14 plus years to travel the country to speak to youth and adults about the dangers of drugs and alcohol and positive mental attitude and just good decision making good choices. I love what I do, and I look forward to every opportunity that I get. So keep that in mind going forward. But I really want to get to my guest tonight because my guest has a very interesting story. So I'm just going to jump right in. Welcome, Misty. Are you there?
Yes, thank you for having me, Ricky.
Well, you know what? Thank you for being willing to be on the show. You know, I got to tell you something about my guest tonight. I was recently in my hometown of Greenville, Texas, which I'm very proud of, by the way. I had the opportunity to meet Misty. I went by her business, and I sat in her office. She made time for me, and we had a great discussion. And I didn't go there with the intentions of asking her to be a guest, but after an hour and a half visit, I was like, man, I hope she says yes. And and voila, you know, here you are on my show. So, Misty, thank you. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me that you're willing to be on the show. And I'm looking forward to everyone learning what I've already had the pleasure of learning, but I want to hear it again. So
thank you again for having me.
But is everything good with you?
Everything's pretty good.
Okay. Now, before we go back, I want to talk about what you currently do. You have a tax service. Is that correct?
Yes, I work for D. Earl's Tax Service. I have for the last 17 years.
Wow. Last 17 years. That's a tough field to me because I don't know anything about it really, but I know that they change the laws all the time. So you got to really stay up on top of that. So for you to been able to do that for the last 17 years and counting, big shout out to you for that, because that's a very demanding thing.
Thank you. It is very demanding at times.
Yeah, well, like I said, you seem to be doing well, because I don't know anybody that will let people continue to do their taxes for 17 plus years if they were making mistakes. So apparently you're doing a great job.
Well, I've made a mistake or two, but I correct it.
There you go. But hey, Misty, tell everybody where you about your upbringing. You grew up in Greenville, I take it.
Yes, I moved to Greenville. My mother moved us here when I was about 5 years old, and I started going to Bowie and went all the way up.
Elementary. Okay.
Bowie Elementary.
Okay.
Bowie Bandits.
I got you. I know about Bowie. I'm a Greenville, Texas guy. I understand.
But I turned into a Travis tornado.
Oh, you jumped ship. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So after Travis, then I take it you went to what we called it junior high. I guess they call it middle school now.
Yeah, middle school and then on up to high school, yes.
Okay. After graduating high school in Greenville, what was next for Misty?
I was married and had 2 kids, Robbie and Cheyenne. And but I suffered a lot back and forth with addiction. I would say it started when I was about 14, but it grew strong probably about the time I turned 27.
Oh, wow. Okay. And when you say you struggle with addiction, do you mind sharing with us what was your drug of choice?
It started out with diet pills and then progressed into cocaine and then methamphetamines.
Oh, wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
this covered what period of your life?
From 14 to 31.
14 to 31. So you had some ups and downs, to say the least.
To say the least, yes.
Well, I'll say this. I'm thankful that you did recover and you're still recovering.
Yes, I thank God every day for my recovery.
Yeah, and that's a big thing about recovery too. I tell people all the time that I haven't been clean and sober very long. Matter of fact, if I'm blessed to see June 4th, that would be 15 years. And a lot of people think that's a long time, but when you're dealing with addiction, it's one day at a time.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I never take that for granted. The fact that I'm coming up on 15 years clean and sober, I don't take it as if I've won and, it's over, because I know addiction is outside in the parking lot doing push-ups.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, waiting for an opportunity to sneak back in my life. And, I choose not to let that happen. Well, now, after you got yourself clean and got on the right track, I take it, what did you do after that? Is that when you started doing the taxes?
Yes. Well, I started doing taxes in 97 and then, had a battle there and got back into doing taxes in 2007.
Okay.
And, but I really focused on my kids and being a mom and trying to show my kids the right way.
That's very interesting too, because a lot of times when you bounce back or you're bouncing back and you start doing what so-called normal people do, which is being a parent, a lot of times people don't understand that that's pressure too, because not only are you dealing with your addiction on a day-to-day basis, now you're taking on other responsibilities that maybe you should have been taken care of before.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So, I admire you for doing that, but I really want you to tell me, or tell us, I should say, about, you had a daughter.
Yes. Cheyenne.
Yes. I'll let you tell it, because if I tell it, I'll mess it up. So would you mind sharing that whole ordeal about your daughter?
I'm going to kind of start back in the beginning. Cheyenne suffered from dyslexia. And we found out about that when she was in 1st grade, and she was held back from the first grade. So that was kind of detrimental to her. It was a traumatic experience for her, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got into middle school, you know, she was supposed to be in the 8th grade. She was in the 7th grade. She was bullied a lot. And because she didn't, you know, she looked more like a 9th grader than she did a 7th grader.
Gotcha.
And so in the 9th grade, Cheyenne had tried one of her friend's Adderalls. And that day she got up right up on my face and she was talking and talking. And I asked her, I said, what did you take? She said, I didn't take anything. And then the next day she told me that she took one of her friend's Adderalls. And I explained to her that the Adderall was meant for the person that it was prescribed for, not for her.
Right, right.
So we rocked on, didn't really have a whole lot of issues in high school. She was a cheerleader and we went to all the football games but on probably the last 6 months of Cheyenne's life, she was in a toxic relationship. And I knew she was dabbling and getting sucked in more by that addiction. You know, I feel like that there's stages of addiction.
Right.
And Cheyenne had definitely went from just doing it on the weekends to doing it more often.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she started off, you said she tried an Adderall, one of her friends' Adderall, and it progressed to what? Do you know, or?
I had caught her with some pills before, and I knew that she was dabbling in cocaine. There's a lot of the young folk here in Greenville that are dabbling in cocaine, and I've shouted from the rooftops that cocaine is not what it used to be.
Right, right.
And
Now,
so
go ahead.
on April the 14th, my mother felt like something was wrong, and Cheyenne hadn't answered the phone all day. And at 5:30, she decided to drive from Rockwall to Cheyenne's house. And she found Cheyenne dead on her living room floor.
Found her dead.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And this was from an overdose? Is that correct?
At the time, we really didn't know, but I had just heard about these Mexican bars. And my thought was somebody had went to Mexico and bought Xanax. Come to find out, the cartels are making Xanax and Adderall and Percocets to make them look like it, but it's actually fentanyl.
Wow.
And so in the 6 to 8 weeks that I waited for Cheyenne's toxicology report to come back, I started researching about fentanyl and started finding all these parents that had lost their kids to fentanyl.
Oh my! I mean, for your mother, that was your mother, right? That found her.
Yes.
Wow, that had to be very difficult.
Oh, and to make matters worse, you know, we have the police come in and they're looking around and they're taking things and they automatically started just assuming that it was an overdose and that my child was just a junkie. And
wow. And that was not the case with your daughter, if I remember, because your daughter was very active.
Yes, Cheyenne had never been arrested for anything other than a minor in possession when she was 17 years old, drinking at a party. She had, I mean, to me, she wasn't a known drug addict.
Right, right. I got you.
Quote unquote, you know.
Yes.
They were more worried about my mother and why she had blood on her hands from trying to give Cheyenne CPR than they were trying to figure out what had happened to my daughter.
Wow. Unbelievable. You said it took 6 to 8 weeks to get the report?
Yes, 6 to 8 weeks to get back the toxicology report.
And that's when you found out that it was fentanyl?
Yes, 4 times the lethal dose.
Wow. And I mean, I wasn't there, so I'm just asking questions because I don't know a lot about fentanyl. I mean, I just know that it has came on and it's been a real problem recently. But I mean, you said the police were more concerned about your mother having blood on her
Yes.
than researching what could have really happened. Because if I remember correctly, you shared with me that your daughter, she was doing things in the community, like participating in back to school programs, like, giving haircuts and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I mean, it wasn't like she was one of those people just under a bridge.
Oh, no, she had just opened her own salon.
Wow. So, I mean, she was definitely, and how old was your daughter at this time?
26.
26 years old. And the reason why I'm honored that you're bringing this up is because a lot of times our society got this false perception
Yes.
of what drugs or drug addicts or what drugs do to people. They think you have to be in it for a long period of time and you just was making bad choices and you had it coming, so to say.
Right.
But I don't see your daughter's situation in that same light.
No. The individuals that were at her house the night before, they had went and played pool, and then they had went to a local bar here in town, and then the bartenders had left and they had went back to Cheyenne's. They were playing Uno, drinking, and the gentleman that left her house that morning at 6:45 in the morning told her, "Don't go to sleep, lean into it."
Lean into it.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I've asked all kinds of young people trying to understand the lingo. They say things change or whatever, but lean into it. I can only assume that she had taken something, because clearly she had been deceased right after he left.
Wow. This never gets easy for you, I'm sure. I mean, because there's no coming back from it. I understand that. And again, I applaud you and I appreciate the fact that you're even willing to revisit this with us.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's something that needs to be visited by someone that's actually experiencing it.
Yes.
If that makes sense, because a lot of times, let's just say for example purposes, we'll see a news story and it's somebody that's not related to us. And you just say, well, poor them, or they just made a bad choice. But it's different when it's you,
Right.
And it's yours. So, I mean, like I said, I don't want to ever give the impression that this is not something that's ongoing with you. And we're going to get into that part in a minute too. But I know that this got to be something very tough for you on a day-to-day basis, just like dealing with the addiction itself.
Yes. I always said there would be one thing that would make me go back to doing drugs, and that would be to lose a child.
Right.
But thank the good Lord, he has kept me sustained in my recovery and has covered me with his grace.
And now, when did your daughter die from this overdose? What year was this?
April 14th, 2021.
2021. So this is not even 3 years?
3 years.
Wow. Man, God bless you. Once you got through the part of, finding out everything that you found out for what the cause of death was, and then you kind of went on a mission there, and if I understand correctly, you're still on a mission. Is that correct?
Yes, very much so.
Could you share with us part of this mission?
Yes. In February, after Cheyenne had passed, so it had been about 8-9 months, and I was trying to think what to do for Cheyenne's 1-year anniversary. We were going to let off butterflies, or we were going to have a balloon release or something. And then I had a vision of having a fentanyl awareness event on the courthouse steps here in Hunt County. And that turned into asking Judge Stovall if we could use the courthouse steps. And he said, sure. He said, why don't you write a proclamation? And so we wrote a proclamation to make April 14th Hunt County Fentanyl Awareness Day, the date of Cheyenne's death. And then I ended up starting a nonprofit called 3FP, Fiercely Fighting Fentanyl Poisoning.
You say the name of that again?
Fiercely Fighting Fentanyl Poisoning. 3FT.
Okay. And that's a 501c3, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. And what are some of the things, because if I remember, I'm trying to go by my memory, which is not always good, but I'm trying. You have been a strong advocate, and you've made your voice known even as far as Austin. Is that correct?
Yes. I have went to the One Pill Kills Summit in Austin last year on April the 6th. I've attended the Appalled Rally, which is We Are Appalled. It's an association of people or parents against illicit drugs. I've also attended the Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally for 2 years in Washington, D.C., where we marched from the Washington Monument to the White House, demanding for us to have more COVID-like responses to fentanyl, since it's an epidemic all on its own.
You've been really busy. I had friends in Greenville. We have a mutual friend, as I call it, like a brother to me, is Benny Barrett.
I love Benny.
And Benny was sharing with me that he's like, man, she's on it. I mean, television cameras and the whole 9 yards. You're all about trying to help someone else not have to experience with your experience.
Yes, if I can save just one kid and get one kid to listen to me and to make the decision not to ever try anything, then I'll feel like that Cheyenne's mission is complete.
Well, that's a very tough job, because even though you're doing it for the right reasons, you still got to live with it,
Yes.
And every time, it's kind of like every time you go over this, it has to bring back memories.
Oh, definitely. I went to a wedding on Friday, and watching that bride walk down the stairs, I thought that's something that I'm not going to get to experience with my child.
Wow.
It's every day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say to that. I think we're going to take a break here, and we're gonna come right back. Don't you guys go anywhere, man. There's a whole lot more that I want to talk to Misty about. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket to get you happy on hour.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design. Take a computer course. Learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for that if you're hosting? Fierce Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and to close out a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you throw a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fierce Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty in pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Matt Knight, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, and we back. Man, before I get back to my guest, I got to give a big shout out to my little brother Brett down in Tulsa. He always checking in and tuning in to the show. That means a lot to me. But, Ben, I'm just kind of curious, man. Is there anybody that commented before we get back to the guest?
Oh, yeah, we've had a lot of comments so far today.
What?
Carla's watching from Poland.
Poland? What? Man, we already across the water, man. We're good. Go ahead.
Then we had Roberta Bell, who said, I thank God for this topic and our kids here that need to hear this. Thank you for telling our kids about the importance of not trying drugs.
Wow. Thank you, Roberta. I really appreciate that.
We had Angela text in saying, so proud of Misty doing the show tonight.
What? Congratulations, Misty. You're getting love, man. You're getting love.
Viola said condolences to Misty. And then Roberta also said, God bless you, Misty. Misty, keep up the amazing work.
Wow. I mean, man, my guest is very important to me, but also the people that take time out of their busy day to listen to the show and comment. I just want y'all to know that is really, really important to me, and I do not take that for granted. So thank you for your comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I just want y'all to know, man, you're appreciated. I think our society has a lack of the ability to say thank you. And I just want to make sure I say thank you. Back to my guest, Misty. As you can see, a lot of people understand that what you're dealing with is not easy. But they also are giving you credit for being willing to deal with it. It's not easy. And I'm not going to even pretend that I know how you feel, but I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing.
I'm definitely not going to stop. Cheyenne has given me the drive to help these other kids. And it's they say don't do drugs, but now the kids want to know why you don't want them to do drugs.
Correct.
And people aren't telling them why. And that leads to the wanting to experiment. They don't want us to do this. Why? But if
Right.
you tell them why, then they know the impact of it.
I have to agree with you, Misty, and I'm going to tell you why I agree, because in my travels over the last 14 plus years of speaking all around the country, I understand that what you just said better than most, because I always do what they call Q&As when I'm done speaking. And a lot of times that question comes up. And then, truth be told, a lot of these youth, they don't want to be looked upon by their peers as weak or whatever. So they like to ask in private, because to ask in front of all their peers is kind of making them seem less than. So to be honest with you, I think it's real important that we explain to our youth, because our youth are way smarter than, I'm going to use me, for example. A kid at 12 now is way more smarter than I was at 12. Okay. Yeah.
True that.
Yeah. So these kids, man, I mean, a lot of people don't want to give them credit, because they want to put them in a category, but these kids are very, very smart. And I think a lot of them really do want to know that simple question. Why? Because our society is kind of clouding the water, with the legalization of this, or, if you're a certain age, it's legal to drink alcohol, so you have to explain to them, because if you don't, then they just think you're trying to tell them how to live. And that makes them more curious to try it. So I'm going to keep answering that question, why, every time I'm asked. And I'm pretty sure you are too. So
I spoke at Bowles Home just this past Thursday, and a little girl came up to me, tears in her eyes, and she hugged me, and she told me that God is with me, and that thank you for sharing my story. That little girl, I feel like I touched her life, and I feel like that maybe she'll remember that conversation for the rest of her life.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I say these kids are way more advanced at a younger age than we were. I mean, they have a lot more going on than we did.
Oh, yeah.
And I agree. That little girl will never forget you or that conversation, because you had an impact and you made a difference in their life. Sometimes you got to understand, when you're out speaking to these youth, actually, without knowing it, a lot of them are experiencing the very thing we're talking about, watching their parents.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, every household isn't ideal. So these kids are seeing it firsthand. And then when someone like yourself or myself show up and actually give a voice to it, they can relate a lot better than we think they can.
Yes.
So you keep doing what you're doing. And actually, I'm hoping to come back to Texas in August. And if I get these opportunities that I think I have lined up, once I confirm them, I would love for you, if you have time, to come and witness it.
No, I'm there.
Yeah, because I just think it's something, that will be beneficial to you, and it'll be beneficial for the kids as well. So I also want to ask you about when you go and do these events where, like you say, you went to Washington. I think you've been to Rockwall too. Did you do something in Rockwall? Or
No, Bishop Lynch High School.
Bishop Lynch. I had that wrong. Okay, when you went there, what was that like for you?
It was pretty incredible, really, because it was an after school. They didn't have to attend. It wasn't during school.
Okay.
And I had about probably 3/4 of the auditorium full. So
wow.
those kids chose to come and listen. And they had questions like, how could they help? What could they do? How could they get trained in Narcan, on using Narcan? And it was probably one of the most gratifying experiences that I've had, that there was that much interest.
Was that a high school now?
Yes, Bishop Lynch High School in
Yeah.
Dallas.
Okay. Yep. I'm familiar with that. You know, a lot of times, I think of some of the things that they have access to, like vaping. You know, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but you know, I know it's a thing, and a lot of people are kids, or I call them kids, but they're young adults, I guess, in high school. They think vaping and stuff is cool,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and a lot of them are doing it, and unfortunately, a lot of times it takes something really bad to happen before they really realize how serious it is.
Right.
You know, and that part kind of concerns me. Now, you've been traveling around doing the same stuff that I do. And one thing that I've noticed from doing this is there's never a shortage of need of what we do.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So I guess where I'm trying to say in a nice way is please keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, I'm not going to stop as long as I have a voice, and
Yeah.
as long as these schools will let me in, and we are able to keep having these events. We had the third annual event this year. We had about 25 booths, of which like 20 of them were informational for mental health here in Hunt County and Kaufman County and Collin County, and to try to let people know the resources that we have available in Hunt County.
Now, Hunt County, and you please correct me if I'm wrong on this one, because you're in Hunt County. I'm just from Hunt County. But they have a thing called Drug Free Greenville. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I had some dealings with them, but I think the leadership changes kind of, well, it's turned over since the last time I had contact with them. But
Yes.
are they very active in this fight that you're fighting?
It's been hard. They were involved. They did have a booth at our event, and but it's been hard for them to get into the schools with the new curriculum, the changing of the superintendents,
Okay.
and you know, I've tried to express to some of the board members that they kind of need to up their game, and it doesn't need just to be about drunk driving anymore. It needs to be about the real dangers that are out there.
Correct.
Because the simple fact of the matter is that fentanyl is in everything. It's in vapes, it's in marijuana, it's in cocaine, it's in methamphetamines, and then it's in pills. And where people, we're a pill popping nation. This, you know, if you want a pill to grow your hair out, there's a pill for that. If you want something
Right.
for your nails, there's a pill for that. And right now, there's 80 to 90,000 drug dealers online right now searching for our kids, waiting for them to post that they're depressed or they have a toothache, and they snap right on and send them a menu of what they have available, and they'll deliver it right to their house.
They'll deliver it. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I'm not laughing because of the fact that they'll deliver. It's just the concept. It's like they're making it really easy for people to be misled.
Yes. And they want our kids addicted, and because they want that money. And if they lose 10 or 12 along the way, oh well.
Wow. You know, that's the one thing that's still a common denominator for me when it comes to the people delivering these pills, or just, I call them drug dealers.
Right.
You know, none of them has been to any kind of medical school, so
Right.
they don't have a clue what they're selling. They're looking at the dollar.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I'm not giving them a pass, but I'm just saying, I know they're hustling money, but they're doing it at the expense of our youth.
Exactly.
And that's the part that concerns me. Now, I remember our discussion in your office too. You was talking about you had really tried to stay on top of the Hunt County Police Department, or the Sheriff Department and the Police Department there in Greenville, to kind of helped close your daughter's case,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't get much help. Is that what I understood?
The only phone call that I got from Greenville PD was the phone call that told me that Cheyenne's toxicology report came back and she had died from fentanyl. I asked the officer or the investigator at the time what we were going to do about it, because this was obviously an epidemic all on its own. And he said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about." And I said, "What are we going to do about this?" I meant, like, are we going to take action? Are we going to, try to find the people that are dealing this crap on the streets? And he said, "Well, I guess education." Well, I asked him if he said it was still an open investigation. And so I called back once a week for 6 months straight, never got one phone call back. I went down to the police station because I was about to do kind of a documentary about Cheyenne's death, and I wanted the 911 tape, and I wanted to go ahead and get the police report and the autopsy report. And he did not answer the phone. He didn't answer the phone for the young ladies in the records department. I had spoke to the sheriff on my way down there and told him what I was doing. And he called me while I was filling out the paperwork to get my records, and told me that he had spoke with the investigator, and the investigator told him he did not have the heart to tell me that he couldn't make a case.
Wow. I mean, I just don't really even know what to say to that. You can't make a case. I mean, because if I remember correctly, you guys kind of gave them a lot of stuff to go on.
Yeah, we gave him the video that the individual that left her house at 6 o'clock or 6:45 that morning that said, "Don't go to sleep, lean into it." They didn't even ask for her phone. They did nothing. They didn't even talk to the people that were at her house the night before she died.
Misty, I'm going to apologize for them, because that's, wow. And I'm assuming.
Unfortunately, even since this has happened, I've had no support from Greenville PD whatsoever in our events that we've had. I've had Quinlan PD, I've had Quinlan ISD PD, I've had the Hunt County Sheriff's Office, and I've even had Lone Oak PD at my events, but Greenville PD has never showed up.
That's wow. Hey, Misty, we're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back and wrap this show up. And I just want to say, man, I appreciate everybody's. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Ooh, what a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons, football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com. See you there. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Well, listen, I'm still kind of taken back right now from this story, but I think it's a story that needs to be told. So that's why I asked Misty to be on. We had two other people that commented. Ben, would you share with us those comments, please?
Yes, we had Barbie Nichols say, "So proud of you, my friend." And then Kim Kelly said, "Misty and Ricky, keep sharing your story. It's important for our youth to hear. Consequences are real."
Thank you very much for those comments. And, you know, I just want to say this too, Misty. I admire you. And I think what you're doing takes a very strong person. When you're in recovery, a lot of people don't understand what I'm about to say, but I know you'll understand it. But it takes a lot of courage to stand up when you know things aren't right, and you're fighting that fight. And I just want you to know you're not fighting it alone, because I'm right beside you. I'm fighting that same fight, and whether anyone else understands it or not, I just want you to know that you got a friend for life with me. So now that we are connected, you feel free, if you ever need to talk to someone yourself, that I'm available for you, okay?
Thank you, Ricky.
Yeah, I mean,
That means the world to me.
Well, I think it's very important, and I admire your mission. You know, I also I want you to know that when I come back to Greenville, we're having our college year reunion on the 31st of August at the City Park. I want to see you there and bring some friends with you.
You know I will.
Okay. Well, I know it's hard to be positive all the time, but you know what? Misty is a great example of what being positive is all about. I do my best on a daily basis to try to be as positive as I can. I have two quick questions. One, I got to ask, since your daughter's death, has there been any more cases of fentanyl poisoning in Greenville?
We've had 12 total cases in the county.
12.
And just on our Hunt County theft reports on Facebook,
Yes.
in just the last 30 days, we've had nine overdose reports.
Wow. If you don't mind, that Hunt County theft report, that's a Facebook thing, right?
Yes.
Please share that with me because I've been trying to find that and I haven't had any luck.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, if you don't mind, share that with me. And the last question I have to ask you, after listening to everything that you just shared with all of us, I know your time is very limited, but when you do get some downtime, which I'm sure is not much, how does Misty Little get her happy on?
For one, this little thing right here.
Okay. who is that?
This is my granddaughter. She's been my little cheerleader for the last hour.
Wow. Okay. And what's her name?
Aubrey.
Aubrey, how are you, Aubrey?
Good.
Good. You keep taking care of grandma, okay?
Okay.
And I heard you had something coming up pretty soon too, like a little trip or something.
Oh yes, me and my best friend Barbie. I think she just commented a little while ago. She and I are headed out Sunday for a cruise for a week.
What?
Yes,
so you're gonna
to Mexico.
All right. Well, you know what? I think that's well deserved.
Very
So
much.
I just want to thank you for taking time to be on the show, and you did a marvelous job, and it takes a lot of courage to admit some of the stuff that you admitted, and a lot of people don't have that courage. So you're amongst a very elite group of people, and I just want you to know that I'm proud of you, and I will definitely be in touch with you, okay?
Okay, and I'm proud of you too, Ricky.
Well, thank you very much. Every week I always try my best to give people hope, give people something to be positive about. It's just not popular. Let's just be honest. Negativity gets way more ratings, it gets you more views or whatever, clicks or whatever is important to you. But I stay focused, and my mission is about being positive. I think being positive is something that second to none, and I'm going to keep fighting that fight, and I know my guests will do the same. So we're going to keep fighting, Misty. We're not going to drop our heads. I know it gets difficult sometimes, and life ain't always fair, but I always tell people in Texas, the fair comes to Dallas over at the Fair Park once a year, and they take advantage of you there. So I don't expect life to be fair. I just try to make choices that make my life better, and hopefully I can make someone else's life better in the process.
Right.
I'm going to wrap this show up with the way I always wrap it up. Every day that you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday night.
Your home is your empire.